Here we go, right back in it. Omaha Vicious taking on Moscow Red Legion in this next matchup here. One more game left in the day, or actually two more, including this one. So Moscow Red Legion, both of these teams losing a body. Moscow looks like Golev coming off early. And it looks like, oh, is that a penalty? No, Zach Sherman heading back toward the box. But bodies dropping from both teams here, but a lot coming off of Vicious. But Colby's still alive. Shane Colby all the way onto Vicious's side of this, or onto Moscow's side of the snake.
He's dead now.
But
it was good because he didn't see that Russian player in the snake corner here. So
what a chaotic!
It was just going so fast we couldn't keep up.
I'm telling you, Shane Colby has been the fastest person getting on the snake.
I totally agree. I mean, he did get shot there, but everyone else died on his team, so he really had no choice but to go forward. But yeah, Shane Colby is definitely. I mean, he walked this field, man. He went to school on the lead up to this event because he knows all those angles, and depending on who dies, he's been consistently always getting up into the snake as long as he's been alive. And so Dennis Golev, Kirill Peridny, and Kulagin left alive for Moscow Red Legion. Looking pretty good, man. Moscow Red Legion, this would be a big win for them. Moscow Red Legion could come out and take down Omaha Vicious. That would definitely be, well, first
make
of
this
all,
bracket real interesting.
It would
tomorrow.
definitely make it interesting because right now, Red Legion lost the damage pretty bad. It was a 7-3 game. So Legion is sitting 0-1 with a -4 point spread. And Vicious put up a big score against VCK, 7-2. So they're 1-0 +5 right now.
And Maddie, you know, the last game that Red Legion just played, they were getting a run going there, and then they got that penalty, so they were starting to get those lanes where they were hitting damage real quick. So it looked like they just did that against Vicious. So let's see if they still continue those lanes that they finally found. Even though they lost that game, they turned it around those last 3 or 4
I'll
points.
tell you what, man, Moscow may have lost that game to damage, but damage looks so good. And then Moscow getting a run for their money a little bit.
I agree with that.
So I'm not going to take anything away from Moscow Red Legion at all now.
It's to be determined.
Of course. I mean, we got a lot of game left to play here as 19-18 left here on this clock. And it looks like, you know, we're talking about two teams right now. Omaha Vicious taking second place at the first event. And then since then kind of hit some hitches. They've hit some hitches. They had to play in a relegation game, but they've consistently maintained their spot in the Champions Division. And to me, and I don't think you can even argue this is the best Omaha Vicious team that we have ever seen take the field.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
There's no way. No, I'm sorry. This year, you can't really. I don't think you can argue it because
Brian Bordeaux goes down.
Well, Brian Bordeaux takes the walk, but you know, Omaha Vicious. Let's put it this way: has a Vicious team ever take second place before?
No.
Okay.
Oh, so, this year, yes.
Yes.
This year, yes.
This year,
tournament,
yes.
Not right now.
Well, we'll see.
Still early.
It's
Friday.
Well, hey, Vicious put up a big score against VCK. I know. Yeah, it's still Friday.
Sorry.
For one more game. So right now, Omaha Vicious losing Brian Bordeaux. Just Brian Bordeaux, though. They still have 4 bodies left alive. I'm still waiting for Nate Schrader to emerge from his shell and be the player that I know lives inside him. We have not seen the Nate Schrader that I think exists. But, you know, it's up to you, man. You have to get out and perform. Another body dropping for Omaha Vicious. So Moscow Red Legion continuing to attack that center and shoot players off the break. Looking real good right now. 5 players alive for Moscow Red Legion.
I'm telling you, the center, man. I'm telling you, Matty.
Yeah, the center has a lot of offensive options. Fabrice Colombo, Kirill Peridny, Kevin Klum, Dennis Golev, and Kulagin. You know, we were talking about Ruslan and how Ruslan, we hadn't seen him, never called his name, had never seen him out here, but maybe he had some phenomenal practices because he's getting a lot of spins.
Well, if he gets picked up by the Russian Legion, those coaches picked him, it's because they think he's got the skills and talent. Like you said, we haven't seen him, and they got a lot of guys back in Moscow that are just
begging for a chance.
Heard that. Yeah.
Well, we were talking there. Russian Legion lost their Dorito player, so they still have 3 alive. One is in the Snake 50 here, trying to put pressure out here on Matt Sossman. And as I say that, they just walk.
Getting shot on the outside field.
Looks like Kirill. Is that Kirill walking off? Yes, it is Kirill walking off from Nathan Schroeder.
Yeah, so, but just...
Oh, nice shot right there on number 1, Zach Sherman.
Well, and I'll tell you what, man, it's the field position right now for Moscow Red Legion that's really eating up Vicious. It's going to be really hard for Vicious to fight out of those center spots when you have the field position that Moscow Red Legion does past the 50-yard line. They also have the 50-yard line in the center as well. So it's just the newest guy in the squad for Vicious, Nate Schrader. And he's the only guy over there, and he's looking at 3 bodies.
And I think I can't see who's in the snake. If it's Ruslan.
That's Kevin Klum walking off.
Taking the walk. I'm sorry, that's
look at Colombo.
So this is Fabrice in here, so that's doing all the work here in the snake side. So
Colombo's good, man.
Yep.
Colombo is really good.
You know what, Matty? We called his number a lot. Actually, we called his number many times with Talon.
The Tauntauns.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin Klum and Fabrice Colombo. Actually, pretty much every single there's again. You talked about there's a reason why Moscow Red Legion picked up these younger players and put them in certain spots like Ruslan. Well, there's also a reason why they had to go and get and enlist the talents of the Tauntauns, and that's because those guys can play paintball. I know they had some controversy last year with all the hot gun craziness and couldn't play World Cup because of finances and stuff, but whatever, man. I still respect that team.
Good players.
They're great players. They're competitors.
He's a good guy too.
Yeah.
For a long time, man. Long time.
Good guys.
Like Toulouse Tauntauns have been around for a minute, and they're always like top-notch guys.
Yeah. Well, the Tauntauns have been.
We were playing against that.
Yeah.
What, 1928?
Well, and there's been so. I think it was 2.
I was slingshot.
Yeah.
Well,
it was at the end of the war, not the Gulf War, World War II.
Exactly.
When
don't even say it. Don't even say it. I saw that coming.
That was you did see that coming a mile away.
But anyway, no, they've been around for a long time, man, and they farm some good players. And the thing with farm teams is they always the good players get jacked all the time. And you don't realize that
they do get stolen, but I think that because the Tauntauns, again, one of those legendary names over in Europe, and have had many different incarnations of that squad. As we're getting the eye in the sky view of the layout here, beautiful layout here, Riverside, California, for the 4th stop on the PSP tour. Moscow Red Legion kind of putting it on Omaha Vicious right now. Omaha Vicious, again, already won a game, so 1-1 wouldn't be disaster yet. However, they don't want to get a slow start again. They got a real slow start at the last event, and they want to come out here, win 2 games, send a statement to their division saying, look, we're one of the top teams here, and we're going to be setting the tempo and the pace. But that is not what's happening right now. Right now, what's happening is Moscow Red Legion are exerting their will on Omaha Vicious. And when you look into the kill counts, I mean, the only person that shot anybody right now is Shane Colby with 1 confirmed kill. Everyone else is pitching a goose egg here, at least to start the matchup. Shane Colby getting shot, trying to get to the snake, and still 4 players alive, but an antibody drop in for Moscow Red Legion as Skabaldovich comes off.
Good spread across the field. You see right now, Omaha Vicious trying to get outside.
And
here he goes. In the snake right now, checking himself.
Yeah, so Skabaldovich and Kuchagaskev come off early here for Moscow Red Legion, but Matt Sossman gets shot too. So looking at a 3-on-3 battle right now. 15:43 to go here. Just getting rolling in this game.
And there's Russian Legion going to the 50 snake right there, Matty.
Yeah, they're in the 50 snake. We got a snake battle right now. Is Brian Bortle is in the snake for Omaha Vicious. And I believe that is Samotrov. Yeah, so number 27.
Oh,
nice shot across the field.
Does he get him?
It looked like he did.
Yeah, Smotrov's still alive here in dominant field position, snake side. Brian Bortle looking for a lane. You can see Brian Bortle wants to go get this guy, and Brian Bortle's got a back guy. So though more ground has been taken by Moscow Red Legion, wow, there is so much paint being shot.
It's so loud right now.
Yeah, Vicious. Matt Sossman is just non-stop rolling and shooting his gun towards that snake side. Brian Bortle shooting inside. Actually, there's nobody. Now the guns have shifted. No one on Vicious is looking at Smotrov in the snake right this second.
He can just
look at that. Look on your screen. Look on your screen. No one is shooting at the snake right now.
Another one going down right now for Vicious.
Still, no one's shooting at the snake. So, and now Sossman's going to have to get over. Somebody needs to get a gun over here on the snake side of the field. He could have made a move at this point. He definitely could have made a move.
He's going to get shot in the pack or the elbow or something across the field.
But also, nobody. There now, Smotrov.
Told you.
Smotrov went out and the back. Bortle's back player just said, "Hey, what are you thinking about?"
But I'll tell you what happened is that again, Smotrov's new. So he hasn't played a lot of these big points before, and he gets into a situation, and it looks like Bordeaux gets taken out as well, and there's just one player left alive. We'll break that down in a second. Let's see how things shake out here. I think we might have
Golev was running thinking
one-on-one.
that they had the point one. He's sitting there running around cheering and didn't realize there was a player still alive in the back corner. So that was a little bit of a rookie mistake right there.
Well, it's Zach Sherman, one of the leaders of Omaha Vicious, still alive, and it's a one-on-one against the leader of Moscow Red Legion. So the battle of captains right now is about to go down. Kirill Peridny going to play one-on-one against Zach Sherman. Big point for Zach Sherman. If he can pull this one-on-one victory off, that means that Omaha Vicious will finally put a point on the board. The score will be 2-1. But if Kirill Peridny, who has no confirmed kills so far, is able to take this victory in a one-on-one,
you can see that I think Zach Sherman's gun wasn't working because he did something that Coach Todd Martinez gave him a hand signal and said, call it.
I'm not sure exactly why that would happen.
But yeah, he definitely looked at the coach and said, hey, I'm done.
Guns are like,
maybe he was out of paint, maybe it was his gun, I don't know.
Guns are like race cars.
Yeah.
They operate at a very, very high level, and occasionally something happens and they don't work at that level anymore, and that's just part of the game. You have to play through your equipment. That's kind of one of the interesting things about paintball is that it is equipment-heavy sport. You have the loaders that need to work good.
Guns,
you have your goggles that need to not
tanks,
fog. You have paint that needs to shoot good. You have guns that need to shoot solid. Tanks that need to feed your gun with air. There's so much that goes into that.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just on the paint side?
No.
Players, mic your barrels to the paint that you shoot. I saw a guy today shooting a 6.83 barrel.
An 8.3 barrel?
Yeah, like, where'd you get that barrel? 6.83 barrel. And he's like,
Probably from your closet.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
that was a good one.
Mic your barrels, man. Check your paint. You got to mic your paint to your
when
barrels.
he says mic your barrels, essentially what that means is most barrels have so that's a micrometer. That means that you need to, because the paint varies in size. The typical paintball is a 68 caliber, so .680. But depending on, you should have multiple barrels in your bag, and
he only had one.
That's why they make. That's why they make the.
That's why they make those sets.
And what you want to see is you put the ball in your barrel. You look through the barrel. If you see a little bit of sunlight on either side and blow it out lightly, and it comes out your barrel, that's what you want to happen.
Yeah, you shouldn't put it in there and have to force it into your barrel,
or let it drop out. Either way.
Yeah, and because if you let it drop out, what that's going to do is that you're going to have to turn your gun up to use more air, thus lowering your air efficiency and your accuracy too.
Efficiency, and also your FPS is going to fluctuate.
Yeah,
so you got to be careful.
The moral of the story is
hot gun penalties.
Hot gun penalties,
two
and
barrel
also using
backs.
too much air too.
Got to have 2 barrel backs. At least
two barrel backs.
That's the minimum.
Split screen breakout. Omaha Vicious on your left, Russian Legion on your right. 3-0 in favor of Moscow Red Legion right now.
And Vicious, hey, Russian Legion is finding the lane. They're finding the lanes, and they're taking out Vicious point after point on the break. So it's 5 alive for Moscow Red Legion, moving down the right side.
Penalty.
Here comes the running ref.
Referee running in there, checking out, and it's
Which
going
flag
to be
is going?
Minor
a
penalty.
minor.
Yellow bird of death.
So the minor's
And
going to.
he's so nonchalant about it. It's so nice.
Well, that's definitely one of the veteran referees, but he went in there and he was kind. He
was kind.
He
was
sprinted over.
grabbing for both.
Well, he decided, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a minor. So looks like Mad Sauce been getting that minor penalty.
Here comes another ref. He's running.
So right now, the advantage absolutely goes to Moscow Red Legion. Just 2 players left alive here. No, and they get shot quickly in bunches. And that is going to do it. So Moscow Red Legion puts yet another point on the board. So Vicious with that big victory over VCK, they've got to get it going here because they are seeing that point differential start to erode away. Because they ended that game against VCK with a 1-0. So one win is their first game, no losses, and a +5 on the point differential. And now,
and look, they got to turn this around because tomorrow they got Houston Heat and they got Tampa Bay Damage. So
big day right now for Vicious. They've got to turn around. This is major. 4-0 is the score. 12 minutes and 29 seconds remain in this match. Lots of time left. And we're going to be right back to see if Omaha Vicious can get back in this matchup. Stick around.
Look for the guy who's jousting with you. Heads up with the god.
You want me to dip in the god or go back to money? Huh? Dip in the god or go back to money?
Dip in the god.
No, I need 11.
This is back to the old school roots where I came from back in the day. I'm getting deja vu. It's 1996 all over again.
The fields are big, the fields are thick, so a lot of intangibles happen.
One of the funnest ways to play paintball.
It's like an X-ball match in the woods.
If you're not out here playing and you're not out here competing in the woods, you're missing out.
So we are starting to close the day out here. First day of competition at the 2014 PSP West Coast Open. Most competitive league in the world, and right now we are watching Moscow Red Legion with the rebuilt roster starting to put it on Omaha Vicious. 4-0 is the score. This is a very important point for Omaha Vicious right now to stay in this matchup. And they send Shane Colby all the way to the snake off the break, but they lose. Looks like, and a major penalty on Zach Sherman.
Parker Rosenthal
Parker Rosenthal sending Zach Sherman to the box.
Wow.
So they still have Shane Colby alive, but
that's good. If you're going to have someone alive, having the snake.
Yeah, it'll slow things down a little bit. Maybe because he's all the way up in the snake and everyone's going to be forced to contend with Shane Colby's body, that might enable Zach Sherman to get out of the box here. But the issue is with the minute, he still has a minute and 44 seconds left though. So that's a long time. And they're looking at 5 bodies. So just 3 players left alive. Luckily, they did get Colby into the snake, which again will slow down Moscow Red Legion. But Trevor Reeser peels off. So now it's just Nate Schrader and Shane Colby. Not looking good again for Omaha Vicious after their dominant performance in their win over VCK. They're just getting beat up right now by Moscow Red Legion.
And here comes Moscow Red Legion down the snake side, and it looks like that is it for this game, this point. He's got to grab the flag. He decided to leave it behind him.
Yeah, flawless point right now for Moscow Red Legion. They will hang this flag with 5 bodies alive. Doesn't give him any extra bonus or anything, but what it does is it's when you're in the Vicious pitch and you're looking over, it's like, oh God, we didn't even shoot anybody? Really? How did we not shoot one guy? And it definitely doesn't help that Parker Rosenthal got a major penalty. Vicious, the 2nd most penalized team in the league. They also get the most majors. They have 16 majors heading into this event through 3 events. So penalty is starting to haunt them again as they were trying to mount a comeback. And even though they got Shane Colby all the way to the snake off the break, and that's a hard run to make on this field layout. So, you're looking at this matchup pretty close, man. I mean, you got to get Vicious clutch attacking. Vicious taking that 2nd place, but Vicious stumbled a little bit at the last event. They played relegation. They won that match. It's tough. This is the fact that Vicious alone has made it to the finals this year, you have to give them the advantage. But Moscow Red Legion is beating them up right now, 5-0. And Vicious just doesn't seem to have an answer for what Moscow Red Legion's bringing to the table.
They can't stay alive at all. I mean, Red Legion is just shooting guys on the break. Like you said, you take off 20% of the firepower right away. You can start doing things, especially on this field. If you get guys key eliminations, what they have been doing, they've been shooting these guys in the corners. And I'm surprised that Vicious is going to continue to do that.
Well, I mean, Shane Colby was able to get to the snake off the break, but
you're only as good as your last turn.
Yeah, so we'll see here. Still 11 minutes and 9 seconds, so though the score is 5-0, there is some time left.
Plenty of time.
It's just Vicious has got to switch something up. So, we still have 1 game left after this matchup. It's the Houston Heat taking on Tampa Bay Damage. That's a really big game because Houston Heat beating up VCK 7-1. And Tampa Bay Damage 7-3 over Moscow Red Legion, who's now beating Vicious. So that's going to be a crazy matchup. Houston Heat taking 2nd place at the last event. Tampa Bay Damage won this event last year. And that game right there, at least from what we've seen, is really going to we're going to find out who's the best team in this league, at least today. And just like Chris said, you're only as good as your last game. It's one of those things where it's like tomorrow's a new day. Every moment's a new moment out here. Every day is a new day. So these teams are going to go back, have meetings, and watch tape, go over game plans, and try to come out tomorrow with the new looks.
So in the snake right now is Moscow Red Legion all on the break. Go pretty much quick. Parker Rosenthal still in the box.
And Red Legion loses 1. So it's now 4-on-4. Kevin Coombs walking off. And it looks like 13 seconds left in the penalty box. So look for them to come out here. 10 seconds left.
Moscow Red Legion has Smotrov in the 50 snake again. Really good field position for him to slow down any sort of attack that Omaha Vicious is going to try to mount. Parker comes out of the box, and he is going to think he's going to take one. Yeah, so he's going to take one and walk off. So still 4 players left to light. Oh, but Colby gets shot out of the back corner bunker. So Vicious starting to fall here. Red Legion looking real good. They've only lost Kevin Klum. Matt Sossman got that shot on him. Trevor Reeser peels off. And it's so hard to stay alive in your bunkers.
Especially when you're doubling up that tower. That's a double up and get out of there. And they were trapped in there. They couldn't get out of there, so.
I talk about it all day, Steve, for sure. Yeah, you can't stay in there too long, man. You got to get out of there.
So now.
Take your shots and leave.
And Moscow Red Legion, talk about putting a clinic on right now. Flawless performance so far here against Omaha Vicious. Gonna go 6-0 up on them right now. 9 minutes. And, well, we'll see how long it takes for these 2 Russian Legion players to check each other out. But Anton Kuchikazev, Kirill Pridny, and Dennis Golev left alive to hang that flag up. 6 confirmed kills for Dennis Golev right now, who is the confirmed kill count leader for the 5 players that just played that last point for Moscow Red Legion. And Omaha Vicious struggling to get kills. Parker Rosenthal got a goose egg for this one. Matt Sossman has 3. Trevor Reeser 1. Colby 1. And Nate Schrader 3. So,
not the numbers they want to see after, especially when they played the first game.
Exactly. I mean, they came out and just made a statement against VCK and welcomed them to the league in VCK's first event. You see there's Matt Sossman get tapped out, last player left alive for Vicious. But this is one of those topsy-turvy. So Vicious comes out, great game, 7-2, victory over VCK, and now getting shut out by Moscow Red Legion. So
they put up that 7-2, gave themselves a good plus differential, and they're giving it right back now.
And
they're taking it away.
And they're taking it away because Legion was 0-1 with a -4 heading into this game. But they're just putting point after point after point up on the board, and quickly too. So we'll see. I mean, Vicious, the tournament's obviously is still 2 games tomorrow for them. But Rab, like you were talking about, they have to play Heat and they have to play Damage tomorrow. So obviously the tougher day for Vicious is Saturday's competition tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow they're going to play Heat at 3 o'clock-ish, depending. We've seen some really long games, so running a little behind schedule, and then also Damage at about 4:30. These are Pacific times. So, yeah, I mean, it's Vicious, no answer whatsoever. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, I'm here with Nate Schrader on the sidelines. Now, this is a tough match for you guys. You're down 6 points, still plenty of time on the board. What is Todd telling you need to switch up in order to try to get some points against Moscow Red Legion?
I don't think we need to switch up anything. We're just not executing to the point where we should. We're getting penalties, it's not helping. We could be shooting more people off the break. That's normally our game plan. It's just not happening for us.
All right, we'll see if they can get a point here.
Yeah, and they're definitely getting a lot of guys shot out of their bunkers and off the break. And now it looks like Vicious sends Trevor Reeser up to trade out with Moscow Red Legion. Looks like Fabrice Colombo. So nice work by Trevor Reeser getting up there, taking out Fabrice Colombo. And the middle is completely open again. But that's not going to speed things up for Omaha Vicious. Oh, but they take out Kevin Klum. Shane Colby clocking in to get a kill. So now nobody in the snake right now for Moscow Red Legion. Dennis Golev making his move up to the center.
That's a good move there because Vicious is trying to get around that can, so he's in a good spot where he can put some under that A. He might get him trying to creep out of there.
And though Colombo got shot by Trevor Reeser, we're talking about kill count leaders. Dennis Golev was 6 from that last point, but the kill count leader for Moscow Red Legion is Fabrice Colombo with 9 confirmed. Look at this, Golev past the 50-yard line. He gets taken out. Here comes, wow, just chaos in that point towards the end.
Where'd who go?
But Parker Rosenthal was able to. Golev passes the 50.
He goes
for
to the
Moscow
50.
Red Legion.
Everyone behind him just died.
Yeah, everyone dies out of their bunker. Parker commits. He gets shot, but as he gets shot, looks like Colby dipped a shot in on somebody. So Colby or Matt Sossman, because Colby and Matt Sossman left alive to finally get a point on the board and keep Moscow Red Legion from winning this game. It's a race to 7. You just got to get 7 points. So Moscow just needs 1 more to take this victory, but Omaha Vicious is not letting that happen yet. And again, that's going to help their point spread here, and it's going to come down to that as we start to get through the games tomorrow. And Yeah, so hopefully for Vicious fans out there, they can continue this roll and get closer to Moscow Red Legion's 6 points that they've already put on the board. It's just going to be tough. They've scored 1 so far through about 12 minutes of play. They need to score 5 more just to tie it up. It definitely exists within the tank of Vicious, but they need to start countering what Moscow Red Legion is just doing a great job of shooting players off the break, and they're definitely playing that center aggressively, which I think Vicious figured out. They sent Reezer up there to trade out. But it's interesting, man. We haven't seen really one set of plays work out here. We've seen pocket plays. We've seen Damage is playing a little more aggressively. Our Chaos is playing a little more aggressively. These two teams are going back and forth here, but definitely no matter what, you cannot forget about the fundamentals. It all starts with how many players you shoot off the break. That is the end all say all.
And that's what Red Legion is doing.
Use your words, Steve. Use your words.
What they're doing to Vicious here.
Yeah, Damage is coming up next to playing against Houston Heat. So I think that's what you're trying to get carried away coming in with what's happening next. So and again, Houston Heat and Tampa Bay Damage will be throwing down to see who's the big boy in this afternoon bracket. It's kind of tough to tell right now. Houston Heat went up big on VCK, so they're 1-0. Damage beat Legion 7-3. Legion's putting it on Vicious right now. It's been back and forth, but this last game of the day, the Houston Heat Damage matchup, will definitely answer some questions for us for sure. So here we go, split screen breakout. Vicious on your left, Red Legion on your right. Do or die time for Omaha Vicious right now. And it looks like they finally get 5 players out. No, they don't. Brian Bortle getting shot in the insert bunker snake side. But Moscow Red Legion loses a body as well, too. So 4 bodies on each side. Oh, but there goes Nate Schrader off the D side. So now 3 bodies alive for Omaha Vicious. And they are all from the center over on to D1.
And the move here for Red Legion is down the snake side.
Absolutely. He's gonna go without question.
Yeah, much better field spread right now for Moscow Red Legion. Only up by 1 body, but with no one on the snake side right now for Omaha Vicious. They only have 1 gun looking that way, and it is, that's Matt Sossman. So Matt Sossman is going to try to contain the attack from Moscow Red Legion, pushing down. Oh, Moscow Red Legion loses another body. And now a big move down on that D side of the field. I think that's Nate Schrader.
And Snake going away too for Red Legion.
Smoke drop.
I think it's either Nate Schrader. I think it is Nate Schrader. So I think it's
3 on 2.
Nate Schrader or Trevor Reeser is in that 50-yard line D side over there. I'm trying to read his number off his hopper. I think it is Schrader.
Yeah, 31.
No, it's
31.
Trevor Reeser. Yeah, so Trevor Reeser. Trevor Reeser's very consistent, man. Trevor Reeser is one of my favorite players on Omaha Vicious. He's an attacker. He's got a great aggressive mindset, and he's got a great snapshot, and is no fear in that kid whatsoever. But that's what's cool about Vicious now, man, is the core of that team is so strong. The guys who have been with them for a while. Now Trevor Reeser past the 50-yard line.
He
might have got
hit.
taken out. He did, so
2 on 2.
But he has to do that, man. Not a lot of time left. Trevor Reeser, do or die time for Vicious and the rest for him and the rest of the boys on the team. So he was making that move, and he had to do it, but he got clipped. Still, though,
Zach Sherman.
Good position for them as Zach Sherman's in that 50-yard line on your screen right now. Still, though, time ticking off. 6-1's the score. 5 minutes and 55 seconds to go.
Oh, he got him. Zach Sherman, nice shot across the field. 1-on-1 right now.
Oh, Matt
Number 85 taking the walk.
it.
So Kirill and Zach Sherman 1-on-1 for the game. 6-1 in favor of Moscow Red Legion.
Well, yeah, for the point. For the game, because if Moscow Red Legion wins this point right here, so if Kirill Pridney, the captain of this team, can pull off this one-on-one victory, he will win the team for his, will win the game for his team.
I know Zach Sherman is my favorite.
Yeah, I don't think Kirill has any paint left. He was already searching for paint there.
Zach Sherman gets a shot on him right there, Maddie.
Again,
I called it.
Big for the point spread. Zach Sherman clocks in, takes out Kirill Pridney, and he's going to hang that flag up.
Nice shot. Nice move.
What is a shot? You owe me $20.
With 5 minutes and 50. Are we handing out money? Are we handing out money over here?
Well, he said he called it.
I'm sorry. I got to call his wife first.
Get that money.
Call mine too.
All right, so with 5 minutes and 50.
When was the last time you had money or saw it?
All right, hold on. Stop. Pause. You guys.
Anyway, Maddie, you're saying.
5 minutes and 15 seconds to go. 6-2 is the score. We're gonna let. Well, how about this? We're gonna get both your wives in a room, and then you guys, they can fight it out.
They can distribute the money. They can distribute the money. Because I haven't seen it, and he hasn't seen it in years.
Well, hey, we're all family here, so I mean, there's no other place I'd rather be right now.
Yeah.
See, what's happening is the day is starting to wear on. We've had both you guys up here sitting next to each other for a couple games.
We're like
way
brothers.
too
That goes.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you get two old teammates that have been talking smack against each other for years. But anyway, so right now, the situation that's confronting Omaha Vicious is they're down by 4. They have 5 minutes and 15 seconds to try to put up 4 points to tie this game up and take it to overtime. That's going to be tough because Moscow Red Legion has been dictating the pace of this game. We're still seeing the fight in Vicious, so that's good. So can they get back in this matchup? We will find out when we come back from this quick commercial break. Stick around. So we are back here. Only one game remains after the conclusion of this matchup here. Friday's competition of the 2014 PSP West Coast Open. Moscow Red Legion completely dictating the pace of this matchup here as they put 6 points up on Omaha Vicious, and they're 1 point away from victory. And Omaha Vicious gets a body chewed up there, D side of the field. They still have 4 bodies alive, 5 bodies for Moscow Red Legion. And Moscow Red Legion doesn't need to go anywhere. They don't even really need to attack. All they need to do is control those lanes and keep Vicious from pushing up the field. But that being said, they still start attacking up the center.
Yeah,
they're learning right now.
Yeah, be in the right position so when Vicious starts moving down that field, that they can pick those guys off. So
and we're seeing a lot of the same names for Moscow Red Legion, but the name that I'm interested in is this Ruslan.
The one we can't pronounce.
Yeah,
that one.
Kulagin.
Kulagin.
Hey, I was
Ruslan Kulagin. 4 confirmed kills for him. Colombo and Golev are leading the team with 9 and 10 respectively. Krill Pridney and Kevin Klum also contributing. But we keep seeing these same rosters out there. Oh, look at this. Big move by Zach Sherman. Comes and takes out Moscow Red Legion's player in the 50. And that's going to clear out the center. But Shane Colby gets shot as well. So that leaves just Nate Schrader left alive in the stand-up temple to try to keep his team in this matchup. And the 4 players left alive for Moscow Red Legion, all they need to do is take out, and they do. They take out Nate Schrader. And that is going to do it here for Omaha Vicious's chance in their second game of the day. And that is going to send Omaha Vicious into their meetings tonight 1-1. One good victory against Houston VCK, and a pretty bad loss here against Moscow Red Legion 6-2. And that is going to take Legion to 1-1 as well. And they lost to Damage 7-3. So that puts them at a +1. So Moscow Red Legion is 1-1 with the +1. And we talk about what +1 means is that the point differential in these matchups is, 7-2, so a +2. So what that means is that as you only get 4 games in the prelims, 5 teams in each bracket. So you get to play 4 games. And basically what we've seen play out past couple years is, 2-2, you're on the bubble. 3-1, 4-0, you're going to be obviously into the semifinals in the Champions Division. 2-2, that's when we start to play the numbers game. So tomorrow afternoon, as these games start to conclude, we'll start crunching those plus minuses and the win-loss record to find out, and then also heads up too if there happens to be any ties both in the win-loss record and in the plus minus. Sounds a little confusing. It's really not that confusing, but
the bottom line is you need to win games.
The bottom line is put as many points and wins up as you possibly can, and then you just got to sit there and hope to God that you did enough to get through. But the next game coming up is a very interesting one. Houston Heat right now is a 1-0. They played against their I wouldn't say it's a rival team, but they're both from have the moniker of the Houston Heat, Houston VCK. Definitely, Houston VCK can claim a little bit more Texas heritage than the superstar team that Randy Smith has assembled. But Houston Heat, man, Houston Heat, after that second place performance that they put up at the last event, losing to Edmonton Impact in the finals, they are now favorites again. So, yeah, they had a little rough start to the beginning of the year, but it takes time always to solidify a team, regardless of who's on the roster. And you got to say, Houston Heat's a favorite here.
They added 5 new players to the team this year.
Yeah,
so.
they added 5 new players. That's a crazy amount of guys to add to a roster, regardless of what teams they've been on or how good they are, because you have to learn to work together. But that's the thing about that squad from Houston Heat. Randy Smith, again, giving those guys everything they need to get as much scrimmage time and much practice time as possible in order to solidify that lineup as quickly as possible. That lineup is now solidified. They look really good right now, but this is a big test against Tampa Bay Damage. So Tampa Bay Damage has had pretty much the same group of guys for years now, and Tampa Bay Damage, that game they played against Moscow Red Legion, who just now beat Vicious pretty solidly, they looked possibly the best out of any team here today. So that's the game that's going down. The last game of the day here, Friday's competition. We'll be right back. We're going to check in with Lauren real quick before a little tiny break.
Hey guys, I'm standing down here with Kirill Peridny. Congratulations, you guys just won that one against Vicious. Now, you lost your match earlier today against Damage. It was kind of a rough loss for you. What mistakes were you making during that game that you switched up to have this significant win?
Actually, we didn't switch pretty much. Yeah, it's all the question about what level of a team you're playing out there. Yeah, of what type of players you have in your team and how good they can perform against this or that valuable team. Yeah, so unfortunately so far playing against like top-rated team as Damage, maybe Heat also, like maybe Impact, we're not so strong. Yeah, we're still learning how to do that, but we can say definitely that against like the medium-level teams, we're okay with them. I mean, it's enough of our skills and of a group of people who can definitely do the game, create the moments, and perform the tactics that coach is asking us to do.
So when you're going into a match against one of those top teams with that have those strong weapons like Heat or Impact or Damage or even Dynasty, what can you prepare? You don't want to go into that match knowing that you're not going to have a good performance.
Of course not. But due to we have like many young kids, it's really hard to get into their head. So like all the old guys, all the veterans, they're fine, they're going and fighting. But kids, they need that time to practice, to get shot from those pros, to get used to that fire, to get used to that intensity that pros are given. When they get used to that, it will be no problem to get into their heads and say, hey, let's do that. Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of younger kids playing here this weekend in the divisional brackets. So what's some advice or tips you can give them about this field layout so they can be successful this weekend as well?
Oh, wow. It's classical breakout, like really safe breakout, and then smart moves. Yeah, you must break out, establish your lines, catch a moment, move. Establish, catch a moment, move. It's everywhere. It's every position on this field is the same type of the activity. What the kids usually do wrong, they get to position, and instead of establishing, they start crazy gunfight trying to kill somebody, and usually receiving a shot from the old experienced players. So the main advice for those kids, not to get killed easily from the positions where they get off the break.
All right, there you go, guys. Some tips from a pro. Next up, we have our last match of the day, Damage versus Heat. Who do you think is going to take that one?
Oh, wow, I have no idea. We've been playing against both of those teams. They all strong. It's really hard to say who's better so far.
All right, I guess you'll just have to wait, watch, and see. Stay tuned.
Goodbye.